Seneca's Letters, reimagined. A contemporary guide to inner clarity and virtue. What if the guidance you need for a meaningful life has been echoing from ancient Rome all along? Can a Roman philosopher's private letters help you navigate procrastination, friendship, mortality, and self-discipline today? In these 10 timeless reflections from Seneca, find the blueprint to a wiser, calmer, and more courageous existence. Letters on Ethics. Lessons from Seneca. Letter 1 to 10. Hey everyone, I'm Sabi. Excited to announce a new series on my channel where we'll dive into some of the oldest episodes of Stoic philosophy in this upcoming series. We'll be exploring the Letters on Ethics to Lucilius by Seneca, a prominent Stoic philosopher from ancient Rome. Seneca's letters are a treasure trove of wisdom, offering timeless advice on how to live a virtue and fulfilling life. We'll be breaking down all the letters in the book, making them super easy to understand and apply in our modern everyday lives. We're starting with the first 10 letters, and I promise each one is packed with valuable insights. So make sure to watch the videos all the way through to catch all the great benefits each letter offers. If you find this series helpful and enjoyable, please hit the like button, but comment, keep going below. And don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell to stay updated with new episodes. Let's dive into the wisdom of Seneca together and discover how his ancient teachings can still guide us today. Letter 1. Taking charge of your time. Seneca's wisdom for the modern world in Letter 1 of Letters on Ethics. Seneca opens with a powerful call to action. Gather and guard the time that until now was being taken from you, or was stolen from you, or that slipped away. He emphasizes the urgency of taking control of one's time, highlighting its fleeting nature and the shame of losing it through negligence. He argues that we often squander our time on distractions, idleness, and inattention, leading to a life lived on autopilot where we are not truly present. Seneca's words resonate deeply with our modern lives, where we are constantly bombarded with stimuli and distractions, making it easy to lose sight of what truly matters. All right, folks, let's have a real talk about time. Not clock time or daylight savings time, but the kind of time that matters most. Your life's time. We're not just talking about schedules and to-do lists, although those can be helpful. We're talking about the deeper philosophical question of how we use our limited time on this planet. The time warp. Ever feel like time is slipping through your fingers like sand? 1 minute you're young and carefree. The next you're staring down the barrel of middle age, wondering where all the years went. It's like we're caught in some kind of time warp where the days drag on, but the years fly by. As the philosopher Seneca put it, it is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it. Life is long enough, and a sufficiently generous amount has been given to us for the highest achievements if it were all well invested. In other words, we all have the same amount of time, 24 hours in a day, 7 days in a week, 52 weeks in a year. But how we choose to spend that time is what makes all the difference. The procrastination plague. Let's be honest, we all procrastinate. Sometimes we put off important tasks. We waste time on distractions. We let our days slip away without accomplishing anything meaningful. But procrastination isn't just a bad habit. It's a form of self-sabotage. It's like slowly poisoning ourselves with wasted time, missed opportunities, and unfulfilled dreams. As the saying goes, procrastination is the thief of time. The Stoic solution. The ancient Stoics like Marcus Aurelius and Seneca were all about living intentionally and making the most of their time. They understood that time is our most precious resource, and that we should treat it with respect and reverence. As Marcus Aurelius put it, you could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think. In other words, live each day as if it were your last, and make choices that align with your values and goals. So how do we break free from the procrastination plague and take charge of our time? 1. Memento mori. This last-in phrase means, remember that you must die. It's a reminder of our mortality, A call to action to make the most of our limited time on this planet. As Steve Jobs famously said, remembering that I'll be dead soon is the most important tool I've ever encountered to help me make the big choices in life. 2. Set clear goals. What do you want to achieve in your life? What are your passions, your dreams, your aspirations? Write down your goals and create a plan to achieve them. This will give you a sense of direction and purpose, and it will help you avoid wasting time on activities that don't move you closer to your goals. 3. Prioritize ruthlessly. Not all tasks are created equal. Some are urgent, some are important, and some are just busy work. Learn to prioritize ruthlessly, focusing on the tasks that will have the biggest impact on your life and your goals. As the saying goes, the key is not to prioritize what's on your schedule, but to schedule your priorities for. Eliminate distractions in today's world. Distractions are everywhere. Social media, email, notifications, the endless stream of information vying for our attention. Learn to eliminate distractions, turn off notifications, and create dedicated blocks of time for focused work. As the author Cal Newport put it, clarity about what matters provides clarity about what does not. 5. Take action. Don't just think about what you want to do. Do it. Take action, even if it's just a small step. As the saying goes, the journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. Let's explore how this concept is applied in daily life. The procrastinating writer. Instead of staring at a blank page, the procrastinating writer sets a timer for 25 minutes and commits to writing without stopping until the timer goes off. They repeat this process throughout the day, gradually building up their writing habit and overcoming their procrastination. The overwhelmed entrepreneur. Instead of trying to do everything at once, the overwhelmed entrepreneur prioritizes their tasks, delegates what they can, and focuses on the most important activities that will move their business forward. The busy parent. Instead of feeling guilty about not having enough time for themselves, the busy parent carves out small pockets of time throughout the day for self-care. A few minutes of meditation, a quick walk around the block, or a cup of tea in silence. The bottom line, time is our most precious resource. It's the one thing we can never get back. By embracing the memento more philosophy, setting clear goals, prioritizing ruthlessly, eliminating distractions, and taking action, we can take charge of our time and create a life that's truly our own. As the philosopher Seneca said, life is long if you know how to use it. Letter 2, a beneficial reading program. Feed your brain, not just your Instagram feed. In Letter 2 of Letters on Ethics, Seneca delves into the significance of a well-structured reading program, emphasizing the importance of quality over quantity, and the need for focused engagement with a limited number of authors. He begins by cautioning against the wayward and unstable nature of reading too many authors and different types of books, highlighting the need to stick with a few trusted writers to gain lasting knowledge. All right, folks, let's talk about reading. Not the kind of reading you do on your phone while waiting in line or scrolling through endless social media feeds. We're talking about deep, meaningful reading that nourishes your mind, expands your horizons, and challenges you to think differently. The information overload. In today's world, we're drowning in information. We're constantly bombarded with headlines, tweets, and clickbait articles. But how much of this information is actually valuable? How much of it sticks with us and makes a lasting impact on our lives? As the philosopher Seneca put it, be careful, though, about your reading. In many authors and every type of book, it may be that there is something wayward and unstable in it. You must stay with a limited number of writers and be fed by them if you mean to derive anything that will dwell reliably with you. In other words, don't just read anything and everything. Be selective, be intentional, and choose books that will nourish your mind and soul. The mental buffet. Think of reading like a buffet. You wouldn't just pile your plate with random food and hope for the best, would you? No, you'd carefully select the dishes that appeal to you, the ones that you know will satisfy your hunger and nourish your body. The same goes for reading. Don't just read whatever's trending or whatever your friends are reading. Choose books that challenge you, that make you think, that spark your curiosity. Read books that are outside your comfort zone, that expose you to new ideas and perspectives. The ancient wisdom. The ancient philosophers understood the power of reading. They saw it as a way to connect with the greatest minds of the past, to learn from their wisdom, and to expand their own understanding of the world. As the philosopher Seneca put it, read always from authors of proven worth. And if ever you are inclined to turn aside to others, return afterward to the previous ones. Obtain each day some aid against poverty, something against death, and likewise against other calamities. And after you have moved rapidly through many topics, select one to ponder that day and digest. In other words, read the classics, the books that have stood the test of time. But don't just read them passively. Engage with them, question them, and apply their lessons to your own life. Your personalized reading prescription 1. Choose your mentors who are the authors, thinkers, and creators that inspire you. Make a list of your mental mentors and start exploring their work. 2. Diversify your diet. Don't just stick to one genre or subject matter. Read fiction and non-fiction, history and science, philosophy and poetry. Expand your horizons and challenge yourself to think differently. 3. Read deeply, not widely. It's better to read a few books deeply than to skim through a dozen books. Superficially, take time to savor the language, reflect on the ideas, and connect the dots between different works. 4. Make it a habit. Set aside time each day for reading, even if it's just 15 or 20 minutes. Make it a non-negotiable part of your routine, like brushing your teeth or eating breakfast. 5. Apply what you learn. Don't just read for the sake of reading. Apply the lessons you learn to your own life. Write about what you've read, discuss it with others, and experiment with putting the ideas into practice. Let's explore how this concept is applied in daily life. The tech entrepreneur who reads philosophy. Elon Musk, the CEO of Tesla and SpaceX, is a voracious reader of philosophy. He credits his philosophical studies with helping him develop his critical thinking skills, his long-term vision, and his ability to solve complex problems. The activist who reads history. The activist who reads history understands the long arc of social progress, the struggles and sacrifices of those who came before them, and the importance of continuing the fight for justice and equality. The artist who reads poetry. The artist who reads poetry is inspired by the beauty of language, the power of metaphor, and the depth of human emotion. They use their reading to fuel their own creativity and to express themselves in new and innovative ways. The bottom line, reading is not just a pastime or a way to pass the time. It's a powerful tool for personal growth, self-discovery, and intellectual development. By choosing your mentors, diversifying your diet, reading deeply, making it a habit, and applying what you learn, you can unleash the full potential of your mind and create a life that's rich in knowledge, wisdom, and meaning. As the philosopher Seneca said, "The mind that is not cultivated is not worth living." Letter 3. Trusting your friends. The BFF guidebook, Sina style. In Letter 3 of Letters on Ethics, Seneca delves into the complexities of trust within friendships, emphasizing the importance of discernment and openness. He begins by highlighting a contradiction in Lucilius, his actions in trusting letters to a friend while advising Seneca not to share everything with him. This prompts Seneca to question the true nature of Lucilius's friendship, suggesting that true friendship requires trust and openness. All right, folks, let's dive into a juicy topic: trust in friendships. This ain't your average trust fall exercise. We're going deep into the philosophical nitty-gritty of what it means to truly trust your friends, and how to build friendships that are rock solid. The trust conundrum. Ever had a friend who was more like a friend, enemy, someone you couldn't quite trust with your deepest secrets or your wildest dreams? Or maybe you've been that friend hesistant to open up, and let someone in trust is a tricky thing. It's essential for healthy relationships, but it's also vulnerable to betrayal, disappointment, and hurt. Feelings, as the philosopher Aristotle said. Wishing to be friends is quick work, but friendship is a slow ripening fruit. Seneca's wisdom on trust. The ancient Stoic philosopher Seneca had some pretty strong opinions about trust and friendship. He believed that true friendship is based on mutual respect, honesty, and a willingness to be vulnerable with each other, as Seneca put it. Consider every question with a friend, but first consider the friend after you make a friend. You should trust him. But before you make a friend, you should make a judgment. In other words, don't just blindly trust anyone who calls themselves your friend. Take the time to get to know them, assess their character, and see if your values align. But once you've decided to trust someone, do so wholeheartedly, building a trusting friendship. Your BFF Bootcamp 1. Choose wisely. Don't just be friends with anyone. Surround yourself with people who lift you up, inspire you, and challenge you to be a better person. As the saying goes, you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. 2. Be honest even when it hurts. Honesty is the foundation of trust. Be truthful with your friends, even when it's difficult or uncomfortable, but be kind and compassionate in your delivery. As the philosopher Immanuel Kant said, truthfulness in statements which cannot be avoided is the formal duty of an individual to everyone, however great may be the disadvantage accruing to himself or to another. 3. Be vulnerable. True friendship requires vulnerability. Share your thoughts, your feelings, your fears, and your dreams with your friends. Let them see the real you, not just the polished facade you present to the world. As the vulnerability researcher Burn Brown put it, vulnerability is not weakness. It's our greatest measure of courage. 4. Keep your word. If you say you're going to do something, do it. Be reliable, dependable, and trustworthy. As the saying goes, actions speak louder than words. 5. Forgive but don't forget. Everyone makes mistakes. If a friend hurts you, try to forgive them, but don't forget what happened. Learn from the experience and use it to strengthen your friendship. Let's explore how this concept is applied in daily life. The workplace BFFs. 2 colleagues who started as acquaintances gradually build a strong friendship based on mutual respect, trust, and a shared passion for their work. They support each other through career challenges, celebrate each other's successes, and offer honest feedback when needed. The childhood friends. 2 childhood friends who grew up together maintain their close bond. Even as their lives take them in different directions, they make an effort to stay in touch, visit each other whenever they can, and always pick up right where they left off. No matter how much time has passed, the online community, a group of people who met online through a shared interest or hobby, form a strong virtual community based on trust, mutual support, and a shared sense of purpose. They share their struggles and triumphs, offer advice and encouragement, and create a safe space for vulnerability and authenticity. The bottom line: trust is the glue that holds friendships together. It's not something that happens overnight, but it's something that can be cultivated through honesty, vulnerability, reliability, forgiveness, and a shared commitment to growth and well-being. As the philosopher Seneca said, "He is my friend. Why should I hold back my words in his presence when I am with him? Why is it not as if I am alone?" Letter 4. Coming to terms with death. YOLO, but not in the Instagram way. In Letter 4 of Letters on Ethics, Seneca delves into the topic of death, aiming to guide Lucilius and us toward a more peaceful acceptance of our mortality. He begins by emphasizing the importance of perseverance in the pursuit of wisdom, suggesting that a settled and flawless mind brings a unique kind of joy, distinct from the fleeting pleasures of the material world. This resonates with our modern-day struggles with anxiety and the constant pursuit of external validation. We often find ourselves chasing after the next promotion, the latest gadget, or the approval of others, only to find that these things do not bring lasting happiness. Seneca's words remind us that true joy comes from within, from cultivating a virtuous and tranquil mind. All right, folks, let's chat about something that tends to give everyone the high-jeebies death. Yeah, I know it's not the most uplifting topic, but it's a universal truth that we all have to face sooner or later. And the way we approach death can have a major impact on how we live our lives. The dreaded DORD. Death is the ultimate taboo. We avoid talking about it. We pretend it won't happen to us. We do everything we can to distract ourselves from its inevitability. But all that denial and avoidance doesn't make death go away. In fact, it can make our fear of death even stronger. As the philosopher Epicurus put it, death is nothing to us, since when we are death has not come, and when death has come we are not. In other words, death is not something we experience. So why be afraid of it? The Stoic perspective. The ancient Stoics, like Seneca and Marcus Aurelius, had a surprisingly chill attitude towards death. They saw it as a natural part of life, something to be accepted rather than feared. As Seneca put it, no evil is great if it is an ending. Death is on its way to you. You would have reason to fear it if it could ever be present with you necessarily, though it either does not arrive or is over and gone. In other words, death is either not here yet, or it's already happened. So why waste our precious time worrying about it facing death? Head on your existential toolkit. One modo mori. This Latin phrase meaning remember that you must die is a powerful reminder of our mortality. It's not meant to be morbid, but rather to inspire us to live each day to the fullest. 2. Appreciate the present moment and to make choices that align with our values and goals. 2. Contemplate your mortality. Take some time to reflect on your own mortality. What does it mean to you? What do you want your legacy to be? How do you want to be remembered? These are not easy questions, but they're important ones to consider. 3. Live in the present. Don't get so caught up in the past or the future that you forget to live in the present. As the saying goes, yesterday is history, tomorrow is a mystery, but today is a gift. That's why it's called the present. 4. Embrace the unknown. Death is the ultimate unknown. We don't know what happens after we die, and that can be scary, but it can also be liberating. By embracing the unknown, we can let go of our fear of death and live life more fully in the present. 5. Find meaning and purpose. What gives your life meaning? What are you passionate about? What do you want to contribute to the world? By finding meaning and purpose in your life, you can face death with a sense of peace and acceptance. Let's explore how this concept is applied in daily life. The terminal illness diagnosis. A person who receives a terminal illness diagnosis might initially experience shock, denial, and anger. But as they come to terms with their mortality, they might also experience a newfound appreciation for life, a deeper connection with their loved ones, and a desire to make the most of their remaining time. The near-death experience. People who have had near-death experiences often report a profound shift in their perspective on life and death. They might become less materialistic, more focused on relationships, and more committed to living a life of purpose. The aging gracefully. People who age gracefully don't cling to their youth or fear the aging process. They embrace each stage of life, find joy in the present moment, and look forward to the wisdom and perspective that come with age. The bottom line: death is not something to be feared, but something to be embraced as a natural part of life. By remembering our mortality, contemplating our existence, living in the present, embracing the unknown, and finding meaning and purpose, we can overcome our fear of death and live more fully, more joyfully, and more authentically. As the philosopher Seneca said, "Let us prepare for death even before we prepare for life." Letter 5. Our inward and outward lives. In Letter 5 of Letters on Ethics, Seneca discusses the distinction between our inward and outward lives, emphasizing the importance of aligning our external actions with our inner values and beliefs. He begins by acknowledging that While appearances may deceive, our true character is revealed in our actions. He states our outward lives may be adorned with the trappings of success, but our inward lives are the true measure of our worth. This resonates with our modern obsession with social media, where we often curate a carefully crafted image of ourselves, showcasing our achievements, possessions, and experiences. Yet behind the filtered photos and curated captions, our true selves may be struggling with insecurities, anxieties, and unfulfilled desires. Alright folks, let's get real about appearances. We're not just talking about your outfit or your social media profile, though. Those can be deceiving too. We're diving deep into the philosophical concept of our inward and outward lives, the difference between who we are on the inside and how we present ourselves to the world, the facade of perfection. Let's be honest, we all put on a show. Sometimes we curate our social media feeds to showcase our highlight reel. We put on our best face for job interviews. We try to impress our dates with witty banter and charming anecdotes. But beneath the surface, we are all a messy mix of emotions, thoughts, and contradictions. We have our insecurities, our fears, our doubts, and our flaws. And sometimes the gap between our inward and outward lives can feel like a chasm. As Shakespeare put it, in Hamlet, all the world's a stage and all the men and women merely players. But we could also say all the worlds are social media feed and all the men and women merely influencers. The Stoic mirror, the ancient Stoics like Seneca and Marcus Aurelius were all about authenticity and integrity. They believed that our inward and outward lives should be aligned, that our actions should reflect our values, and that we should strive to be the same person in private as we are in public. As Seneca put it, let the face we show to the world be like other people's within. Let us be completely different. In other words, don't try to be someone you're not. Be true to yourself, but also be mindful of how your actions impact others. Bridging the gap. Your authenticity workout. 1. Self-reflection. Take some time to reflect on who you are on the inside. What are your values? What are your passions? What are your strengths and weaknesses? The more you know yourself, the easier it will be to live authentically. 2. Mindful living. Pay attention to your thoughts, your emotions, and your actions. Are they aligned with your values? Are you being true to yourself? Are you living in a way that you can be proud of? 3. Honest communication. Be honest with yourself and with others. Don't be afraid to express your true feelings, your doubts, and your vulnerability is as the vulnerability. Researcher Bren Brown put it. Vulnerability is the birthplace of love, belonging, joy, courage, empathy, and creativity. 4. Alignment of actions and values. Strive to live in a way that's consistent with your values. Don't just talk the talk. Walk the walk, as the saying goes. Actions speak louder than words. 5. Embrace imperfection. No one is perfect. We all have flaws and make mistakes. Embrace your imperfections as part of what makes you human. As the Japanese concept of wabi-sabi teaches us, there is beauty in imperfection. Let's explore how this concept is applied in daily life. The Instagram influencer, an Instagram influencer who appears to have a perfect perf life, struggles with anxiety and depression behind the scenes. They decide to open up about their struggles on social media, sharing their vulnerabilities and connecting with their followers on a deeper level. The corporate executive. A corporate executive who feels trapped in a life of superficiality and materialism decides to quit their job and pursue their passion for environmental activism. They start a non-profit organization, live a simpler life, and find true fulfillment in making a positive impact on the world. The stay-at-home parent. A stay-at-home parent who feels invisible and undervalued starts a blog to share their experiences, connect with other parents, and advocate for the importance of caregiving. They discover a new sense of purpose and community through their writing. The bottom line: your inward life is your true self. your essence, your soul. Your outward life is your presentation to the world, your mask, your persona. By aligning your inward and outward lives, you can live a life of authenticity, integrity, and true happiness. As the philosopher Seneca said, "What good is it to me if my outward life is better than my inner life? If I am unhappy, it does not matter how rich I am." Letter 6, intimacy within friendship, going deeper than your news feed. In Letter 6 of Letters on Ethics, Seneca discusses intimacy within friendship, emphasizing the importance of mutual trust and shared experiences. He begins by describing his own transformation through philosophy, and expresses his desire for a deeper connection with Lucilius. Based on honorable intentions, he believes that true friendship can withstand any challenge, as friends share not only their joys but also their burdens and trials. This resonates with our modern understanding of friendship, where we often seek connections that go beyond superficial interactions and offer support in times of need. All right, folks, let's dive into a topic that's close to all our hearts, friendship. But we're not just talking about casual acquaintances or social media connections. We're talking about real, deep, soul-nourishing friendships, the kind that make life richer, more meaningful, and a whole lot more fun. The friendship paradox: we all crave intimacy and connection. We want to feel seen, heard, and understood. But we also fear vulnerability and rejection. We build walls around our hearts, afraid to let anyone in too close. As the philosopher Aristotle put it, friendship is a single soul dwelling in two bodies. But we could also say friendship is two souls awkwardly navigating the minefield of vulnerability and trying not to accidentally blow each other up. Seneca's take on intimacy, the ancient Stoic philosopher Seneca, had some pretty profound insights into the nature of intimacy within friendship. He believed that true friendship is based on mutual trust, openness, and a willingness to share our deepest thoughts and feelings with each other. As Seneca put it, there are some who unload their worries into every available ear, telling anyone they meet what be entrusted. Only to friends others are reluctant to confide. Even in those who are closest to them, they press every secret to their chest, and would keep it even from themselves, if they could. Neither alternative is appropriate: to trust everyone, or to trust no one. Both are faults, but the former is what I might call a more honorable fault, the latter, a safer one. In other words, don't be a blabbermouth, but don't be a closed book either. Find a balance between openness and discretion, and choose your confidence wisely. Cultivating intimacy, your friendship upgrade. 1. Be present. Put down your phone, turn off the TV, and give your friend your undivided attention. Listen to them without judgment. Offer support and encouragement, and be fully present in the moment. As the mindfulness teacher Thich Nhat Hanh put it, the most precious gift we can offer anyone is our attention to. Share your true self. Don't be afraid to let your friends see the real you, your quirks, your flaws, your vulnerabilities. Authenticity is the key to building deep, meaningful connections. As the writer Cheryl Stier put it, the best friendships are the ones that make you a better person without trying. 3. Practice vulnerability. Vulnerability is scary, but it's also essential for intimacy. Share your fears, your hopes, your dreams, and your struggles with your friend. Let them know that you trust them enough to let them see your heart. As the vulnerability researcher Bern Brown put it, vulnerability sounds like truth and feels like courage. Truth and courage aren't always comfortable, but they're never weakness. 4. Create shared experiences. Do things together that you both enjoy. Go on adventures, try new things, and create memories that will last a lifetime. As the saying goes, a good friend is like a 4-leaf clover, hard to find and lucky to have 5. Celebrate each other's successes. Be your friend's biggest cheerleader. Celebrate their successes, big and small. Offer support and encouragement when they're struggling. As the author Maya Angelou put it, a friend may be waiting behind a stranger's face. Let's explore how this concept is applied in daily life. The college roommates. 2. College roommates who initially had nothing in common gradually develop a close friendship through shared experiences, late-night conversations, and mutual support. They become each other's confidants, cheerleaders, and partners in crime. The long-distance friends. Two friends who live far apart maintain their intimacy through regular phone calls, video chats, and care packages. They make an effort to visit each other whenever they can, and they always pick up right where they left off. No matter how much time has passed, the unlikely friends. Two people from completely different backgrounds, a corporate lawyer and a yoga instructor, form an unlikely friendship based on their shared love of hiking, their quirky sense of humor, and their mutual respect for each other's differences. The bottom line: intimacy within. Friendship is a gift. It's a source of joy, comfort, support, and growth. By being present, sharing your true self, practicing vulnerability, creating shared experiences, and celebrating each other's successes, you can cultivate deep, meaningful friendships that will enrich your life in countless ways. As the philosopher Seneca said, life is not worth living without friends. Letter 7. Avoiding the crowd. Your guide to zening out in a world of hype beasts. In Letter 7 of Letters on Ethics, Seneca explores the potential dangers of crowds and their negative influence on personal growth. He begins by admitting his vulnerability to the crowd's influence, saying, "Never do I return home with the character I had when I left." He likens the experience to a recovering patient exposed to harmful elements, suggesting that crowds can disrupt our tranquility and hinder our progress toward virtue. All right, folks, let's talk about crowds. And no, I'm not talking about that awesome concert you went to last weekend, or the epic sports game you watched with your buddies. We're diving into the philosophical side of crowds, the kind that can be toxic, draining, and downright harmful to your mental and emotional well-being. The herd mentality. Humans are social creatures, no doubt about it. We crave connection, belonging, and a sense of community, but there's a dark side to our social nature. The herd mentality. It's that tendency to conform, to follow the crowd, to adopt the opinions and behaviors of those around us, even if they're not in our best interest. As the philosopher Friedrich Nietzsche put it, madness is rare in individuals, but in groups, parties, nations, and epochs it is the rule. In other words, crowds can be breeding grounds for irrationality, group think, and even outright insanity. Seneca's solitude prescription. The ancient Stoic philosopher Seneca was a big proponent of solitude. He believed that spending time alone, away from the noise and distractions of the crowd, was essential for self-reflection, personal growth, and inner peace. As Seneca put it, there is no enjoying the possession of anything valuable without a companion, but all the same, the more the crowd presses in on you, the greater the danger. Nothing is as ruinous to good character as sitting around at some spectacle, for then vices more easily creep in. In other words, don't let the crowd dictate your values, your choices, or your happiness. Take some time for yourself. Disconnect from the noise and reconnect with your own inner wisdom. Navigating the social maze, your solitude survival guide. 1. Know thyself. What are your values? What are your goals? What makes you happy? The more you know yourself, the less likely you are to be swayed by the opinions and behaviors of others. 2. Choose your company wisely. Surround yourself with people who lift you up, inspire you, and challenge you to be a better person. Avoid people who drain your energy, gossip, or engage in negative self-talk. As the saying goes, you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. 3. Set boundaries. Don't be afraid to say no to social events, invitations, or requests that don't align with your values or your schedule. It's okay to prioritize your own needs and well-being. 4. Cultivate solitude. Make time for solitude each day. Even if it's just for a few minutes, this could involve meditation, journaling, reading, or simply spending time in nature. Use this time to reflect on your thoughts, your emotions, and your lives. Direction 5. Find your tribe while solitude is important. It's also important to have meaningful connections with others. Find your tribe, the people who share your values, your interests, and your passion for life. These are the people who will support you, challenge you, and help you grow. Let's explore how this concept is applied in daily life. The introverted artist, an introverted artist who feels drained by social interactions, creates a dedicated studio space where they can work in solitude and recharge their creative batteries. The mindful executive, a high-powered executive who's constantly bombarded with demands and distractions, makes time for a daily meditation practice to quiet their mind, reduce stress, and gain clarity and focus. The digital minimalist, a social media addict who's feeling overwhelmed by the constant stream of information and comparison, takes a break from social media and focuses on building deeper connections with friends and family. Offline, the bottom line. Avoiding the crowd doesn't mean becoming a hermit or isolating yourself from society. It means being intentional about how you spend your time, who you spend it with, and how you engage with the world around you by cultivating solitude. Choosing your company wisely, setting boundaries, and finding your tribe, you can create a life that's rich in meaning, purpose, and genuine connection. As the philosopher Seneca said, "The greatest gift is a portion of thyself." Letter 8. Writing as a form of service. Your words can change the world. No pressure in Letter 8 of Letters. On ethics, Seneca addresses Lucilius' question about Seneca's withdrawal from public life to focus on writing. Seneca defends his choice, asserting that writing, particularly philosophical writing, is a form of action and service to others. He argues that he is working for posterity, aiming to benefit future generations through his writings. He compares his writings to healthful admonitions like recipes for healing salves, suggesting that his words can provide guidance and remedies for the ailments of the soul. All right, folks, let's talk about writing. Not just texting your bestie or updating your status, but the kind of writing that can leave a lasting impact on the world we're diving into. The philosophical idea that writing isn't just about self-expression. It's a form of service to others, a way to share knowledge, spark inspiration, and even ignite social change beyond the selfie. In today's world, we're constantly bombarded with self-focused content, selfies, personal blogs, and social media posts that revolve around our own lives and experiences. But what if we could shift our focus outward, using our words to connect with others, share valuable insights, and make a positive impact on the world? As the philosopher Cicero put it, "The cultivation of the mind is as necessary as food to the body, and writing is one of the most powerful tools we have for cultivating our own minds and the minds of others." Seneca's service-oriented scribbling. The ancient Stoic philosopher Seneca believed that writing was a way to give back to society, to share his knowledge and wisdom with others, and to leave a lasting legacy for future generations. As Seneca put it, "I am committing to the page some healthful admonitions like the recipes for useful salves. I have found these effective on my own SS, which, even if not completely healed, have ceased to spread the right path that I myself discovered late in life when weary from wandering. I now point out to others." In other words, Seneca saw his writing as a form of medicine, a way to heal the wounds of the soul and guide others towards a more virtuous and fulfilling life. Your words as a gift. Your writing toolkit. 1. Write with purpose. Don't just write for the sake of writing. Have a clear purpose in mind: to inform, to inspire, to persuade, to entertain, or to simply connect with others. As the author Maya Angelou said, "There is no greater agony than bearing an untold story inside you to share your knowledge and experience." What have you learned in your life? What experiences have shaped you? What insights can you offer to others? Don't be afraid to share your knowledge and experience through your writing. As the saying goes, knowledge is power, but sharing knowledge is empowering. 3. Find your voice. Your writing should reflect your unique personality. your perspective, and your passions. Don't try to imitate others or follow the latest trends. Be yourself and let your authentic voice shine through, as the writer Ralph Waldo Emerson put it. To be yourself in a world that is constantly trying to make you something else is the greatest accomplishment. 4. Write for a wider audience. Don't just write for yourself or your close circle of friends. Share your writing with the world. Publish it online. Submit it to magazines or journals, or simply share it with people who might find it helpful or inspiring, as the writer in Lamont put it, bird by bird, buddy. Just take it bird by bird. 5. Use your words, for good words have power. They can uplift, they can motivate, they can heal, and they can even change the world. Use your words for good. Write about the issues you care about. Advocate for the causes you believe in, and inspire others to take action as the activist and writer. Audre Lorde said, "Your silence will not protect you." Let's explore how this concept is applied in daily life. The blogger who empowers women, a woman who struggled with body image issues, starts a blog to share her journey to self-acceptance and to empower other women to love their bodies. Her writing resonates with thousands of readers, creating a community of support and inspiration. The journalist who exposes corruption. An investigative journalist uncovers a government scandal and writes a series of articles that expose the truth and hold those in power accountable. Their writings sparks public outrage and leads to meaningful reforms. The teacher who inspires students. A high school teacher creates a blog to share their passion for literature and to inspire their students to become lifelong learners. Their writing helps students connect with the material on a deeper level and discover the joy of reading. The bottom line: writing is not just about putting words on a page. It's about connecting with others, sharing knowledge, sparking inspiration, and making a positive impact on the world by writing with purpose. Sharing your knowledge and experience, finding your voice, writing for a wider audience, and using your words for good. You can unleash the power of your words and become a force for positive change. As the philosopher Seneca said, "The work that I'm doing is for posterity. It is they who can benefit from what I write." Letter 9. Friendship and self-sufficiency. Your ride or die crew without the drama. In Letter 9 of Letters on Ethics, Seneca explores the relationship between friendship and self-sufficiency, a topic that has been debated among philosophers for centuries. He begins by addressing a criticism raised by Epicurus against the Stoic idea that a wise person is self-sufficient and therefore doesn't need friends. Seneca clarifies the Stoic position, stating that while a wise person can indeed be content with themselves, they still desire and value friendship. All right, folks, let's dive into a topic that's as old as philosophy itself. Friendship. But we're not just talking about casual acquaintances or social media buddies. We are talking about deep, meaningful connections that can weather life storms and make you a better person. And we're also going to tackle a seemingly contradictory idea: self-sufficiency. Can you be a lone wolf and still have a pack? Let's find out the friendship conundrum. We all crave connection. We want to belong, to be loved, to have people in our corner. But we also want to be independent, self-reliant, and capable of standing on our own 2 feet. So how do we balance these two seemingly opposing desires? Aristotle, that wise old Greek dude, said, "Man is by nature a social animal." But he also said the ultimate value of life depends upon awareness and the power of contemplation, rather than upon mere survival. So which is it? Are we meant to be social butterflies or solitary contemplatives? Seneca's wisdom on friendship and self-sufficiency. Seneca, the Stoic philosopher, had some pretty rad ideas about this whole friendship versus self-sufficiency thing. He believed that true friendship is not about dependency or neediness, but about mutual respect, admiration, and a shared pursuit of virtue. As Seneca put it, it is possible for one who is self-sufficient to pursue friendship not as the foolish do in order to have someone to sit by him when he's ill or in prison or in want, but so that he may himself take his turn at watching over a sick friend, or going into exile with him, or ransoming him from captivity. In other words, true friendship is about giving as much as you receive, about being there for your friends when they need you, and knowing they'll be there for you too. Building strong friendships, your Epicurean guide. One, quality over quantity. Don't just collect friends like stamps. Focus on building a few deep, meaningful connections with people who share your values and interests. As the saying goes, a friend to all is a friend to none. 2. Choose wisely. Be selective about who you let into your inner circle. Surround yourself with people who inspire you, challenge you, and make you want to be a better person. As Jim Ran famously said, you're the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. 3. Be a good friend. Friendship is a two-way street. Be there for your friends. Listen to them, support them, and celebrate their successes, but also be willing to offer constructive criticism and hold them accountable when they need it. 4. Cultivate shared interests. Do things together that you both enjoy. Whether it's hiking, playing music, or discussing philosophy, shared experiences can strengthen your bond and create lasting memories. 5. Respect each other's independence. True friendship doesn't mean being joined at the hip. Respect your friend's need for space and autonomy, and don't be afraid to pursue your own interests and passions. Self-sufficiency, your Stoic training. 1. Inner strength. Cultivate your inner strength and resilience. Learn to rely on yourself, your own judgment, and your own resources. Is as the Stoic philosopher Epictetus put it, he is a wise man who does not grieve for the things which he is not, but rejoices for those which he has. 2. Emotional independence. Don't let your happiness depend on external factors like other people's approval or material possessions. Find joy in your own company, your own thoughts, and your own pursuits. 3. Resilience in the face of adversity. Life will throw you curveballs. Learn to bounce back from setbacks, disappointments, and losses. As the saying goes, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. Let's explore how this concept is applied in daily life. The solo traveler. A solo traveler who embarks on a journey of self-discovery learns to rely on their own instincts, make their own decisions, and find joy in their own company. The resilient entrepreneur. An entrepreneur who loses their business doesn't fall into despair. They pick themselves up, dust themselves off, and start again. Drawing on their inner strength and resilience. The lifelong learner. A lifelong learner who seeks out new knowledge and skills, becomes a well-rounded and self-sufficient individual, capable of adapting to any situation. The bottom line: friendship and self-sufficiency are not mutually exclusive. In fact, they can complement and enhance each other. By building strong friendships with people who support your growth, and by cultivating your own inner strength and resilience, you can create a life that's rich in both connection and independence. As the philosopher Seneca said, the wise man is self-sufficient, but not in that he wants to be without a friend, but in that he is able to letter 10 communing with oneself. Your brain's not a frat house, keep it classy. In Letter 10 of Letters on Ethics, Seneca emphasizes the importance of self-reflection and introspection. He begins by reiterating his advice to Lucilius to avoid crowds and even the company of a few, suggesting that solitude can be beneficial for self-improvement. He then shares an anecdote about Crates, a cynic philosopher who warned a young man walking alone that he was talking to a bad person. This anecdote serves as a reminder that our inner dialogue can be just as influential as the company we keep. All right, folks, let's talk about something we all do but rarely give enough credit to: hanging out with ourselves. No, we're not talking about Netflix binges or scrolling through social media. Although those can be fun in moderation, we're talking about real deep soul-searching introspection, the kind that can lead to self-discovery, personal growth, and a whole lot of inner peace. The inner sanctuary. Think of your mind as a sanctuary, a place where you can retreat from the noise and chaos of the world. It's a place where you can reflect on your thoughts, your feelings, your values, and your goals. It's a place where you can connect with your true self, the part of you that's often drowned out by the demands and distractions of everyday life, as the philosopher Marcus Aurelius put it. Nowhere can man find a quieter or more untroubled retreat than in his own soul. But in today's world, our inner sanctuaries are under attack. We're constantly bombarded with information, notifications, and social media updates. We are always connected, always on, and always plugged in. It's no wonder we feel stressed, anxious, and disconnected from ourselves. The philosophical, the ancient philosophers like Socrates and Seneca understood the importance of introspection. They saw it as a way to examine our beliefs, challenge our assumptions, and cultivate wisdom and virtue. As Socrates put it, the unexamined life is not worth living. But we could also say the unexamined mind. Mind is a breeding ground for chaos and confusion. So how do we recharge our philosophical batteries and reconnect with our inner selves? 1. Carve out time for solitude. Make time each day for solitude, even if it's just for a few minutes. Turn off your phone, close your laptop, and find a quiet place where you can be alone with your thoughts. 2. Practice mindfulness. Mindfulness is the practice of paying attention to the present moment without judgment. It's about observing your thoughts and feelings without getting caught up in them. Regular mindfulness practice can help you quiet your mind, reduce stress, and gain clarity and focus. 3. Journaling. Journaling is a powerful tool for self-reflection. It allows you to explore your thoughts and feelings in a safe, private space. You can write about your experiences, your challenges, your goals, or anything else that's on your mind. 4. Meditation. Meditation is another powerful tool for quieting the mind and connecting with your inner self. There are many different types of meditation, so find one that resonates with you and stick with it. 5. Nature therapy. Spending time in nature has been shown to have a calming and restorative effect on the mind and body. Take a walk in the park, go for a hike in the woods, or simply sit outside and soak up the sun. Let's explore how this concept is applied in daily life. The burnout executive, a high-powered executive who's feeling stressed and overwhelmed, starts a daily meditation practice. They find that even a few minutes of meditation each day helps them to quiet their mind, reduce stress, and gain clarity and focus. The anxious student, a student who's struggling with anxiety, starts a journaling practice. They find that writing about their worries and fears helps them to process their emotions and develop coping mechanisms. The creative professional, a creative professional who's feeling stuck in a rut, takes a nature therapy walk each day. They find that spending time in nature helps them to clear their head, spark their creativity, and come up with new ideas. The bottom line: communing with yourself is not a luxury, it's a necessity. It's essential for your mental, emotional, and spiritual well-being. By carving out time for solitude, practicing mindfulness, journaling, meditating, and connecting with nature, you can create a sanctuary within yourself where you can find peace, clarity, and renewal. As the philosopher Seneca said, every day acquire something that will fortify you against poverty, against death, indeed, against other misfortunes as well. And after you have run through many thoughts, select one to be thoroughly digested that day. Thank you for joining me in exploring the first 10 letters of Seneca's Letters on Ethics to Lucilius. I hope you found these ancient teachings as insightful and applicable to our modern lives. As I have, Seneca's wisdom continues to resonate, reminding us of the importance of virtue, resilience, and thoughtful living. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, share your thoughts in the comments below, and let me know which letter resonated with you the most. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you won't miss the next set of letters we dive into. Let's continue this journey together, learning and growing through the timeless wisdom of Stoic philosophy. Until next time, stay curious and stay inspired. The wisdom shared through these 10 letters of Seneca is far from ancient dust. It is as alive as your next thought, your next choice, your next breath. From procrastination to mortality, from the courage to be alone to the discipline of thoughtful reading, these writings invite us into a deeper communion with ourselves. As you carry these lessons forward, remember, your time is sacred, your friendship's a mirror, and your mind a temple. Let Seneca not only speak to you, but speak through you, in how you live, lead, and love. This is not just ancient philosophy. It's a manual for modern awakening,